Hi, my name is Cassie Winter, and I'm an accountability coach for creatives. My business is called Accountability Muse, and it's my goal to help creatives of all types actually get their butts in the chair and do their creative work on a consistent basis. My goal is to motivate, inspire, and show that all manners of creativity and resistance are normal, and there are ways to get through it. So I had this really neat idea. It's neat to me. You might think I'm crazy, but hey. I really love the chatty get ready with me videos that makeup influencers do on YouTube. Raw Beauty Christie is one of my favorites. And basically what they do is they just do their makeup and they talk about shit while they do their makeup. Pretty straightforward. And I was thinking it might be interesting to apply that same philosophy to getting ready to create. So this is the inaugural run of Get Ready to Create with me. And today's particular episode is going to be Get Ready to Write with me. I am a writer, and my current project is to write a script for Rose City Swing 2020, the happiest event on earth. For the past 2 years, I have written scripts for the event. It's a 3-day West Coast Swing event in February in Portland, Oregon, with competitions, workshops, social dancing till you drop, an incredible staff of champion West Coast Swing dancers, an incredible assortment of DJs. It's just a fun time. And in 2018, I wrote Rose City Swing Murder Mystery. 2019, I wrote Rose City Swing Swingin' in the Rain, and this year is going to be the happiest event on earth, a fairy tale themed event, and shenanigans must ensue. The reason why I want to do a Get Ready to Write with me is because I have so much anxiety about writing this script, as I have had extreme anxiety the past 2 years. My anxiety's never going away. I'm gonna be terrified to sit down and work on this project no matter what. It's not comfortable. So I thought it might be interesting for me to wax poetic about my mental health and try to get myself in the zone to write. So let's catch you up on where I am at so far. Important tool of the writing process. Cute things help me do shit. Because I'm too lazy to blur out a photo of this, I'm going to motion blur the shit out of this. This is the outline for Rose City Swing 2020. It is not complete. Oh man. So far, I have the title across the top, Rose City Swing 2020, the happiest event on earth, in colored marker. I have the page broken down into 3 columns, Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. I have a note section off to the left called Ideas. Oh, smart, huh? And this is the part where things get uncomfortable. A lot of the work that I've been doing so far on Rose City Swing has been casting, figuring out which staff member should be which character in the shenanigans that is my grand idea. That has been the longest process, and making sure that each staff member has enthusiastic consent for what I am going to ask them to do. And this whole idea started with an opening scene that involves a curse and singing and shenanigans. And I've basically gotten everything cast. I finally figured out something that was important to figure out. But now I actually have to outline the story, get every single scene figured out, what's going to happen in it, why that scene needs to happen, what the change is from the beginning of that scene to the end of the scene and how that change affects the story overall. And make sure I'm not giving any one staff member too much work. That's probably the hardest part of writing these scripts. And last year was incredible because everybody went above and beyond with the work they did on their scenes and their musical numbers. But I know it's helpful if on my end I have a very simple thing for them to do so that if they choose to, they can put a lot of work into that simple thing, right? So for instance, last year, Robert Royston performed Singin' in the Rain alongside Gene Kelly on the screen and sang it and tap danced it, and it was incredible. Brought the house down. I know I was in tears the whole time watching it. If I think about it too hard, I will cry again, so I'm gonna move on. So today, I need to get some work done on this project, obviously, to move it forward. My goal is to have it finished outlining by the end of this month, November 2019, and then to have the full script written by the end of December. So that way I can spend January working out the kinks and getting lots of back-end stuff prepped. And then, in theory, I can have a nice relaxing February until the event happens at the end of the month. I'm not going to try to outline the entire script today. That doesn't work at all. So what I'm going to do is start playing around with some of the ideas that I already have. So I have actually created a spreadsheet, and I use Airtable for outlining stories. Airtable is to creatives what Excel is to accountants. It's a really wonderful spreadsheet program that's more designed for like language than numbers, and also the relationships between things. So I have the nerdiest spreadsheet for Rose City Swing. I'm doing a lot of superfluous talking. Oh, hey. I'm resisting getting started. This is great. Okay, so now that you have some context on what I am working on and why I'm working on it, and the fact that I want to procrastinate indefinitely on it, I'm gonna try to pump myself up to work on it. My goal today is to spend 1 hour working on the Rose City Swing outline. Now, I specifically say 1 hour because I like using a timer to help myself do work. I call it button chair time. And I focus on the goal being spending the time as opposed to some sort of creative output goal. So a creative output goal would be outlining Act 1 of Rose City Swing, right? But in the creative process, especially in the earlier stages, when you're both reconciling ideas you already have, trying to come up with new ideas, you have an ambiguous problem. It's well, what is the middle of my story? There aren't necessarily cut and dry answers to those things. A writer has to figure them out and invent them along the way. And half the time, one of the problems is you don't have the right definition of what your problem is to find the correct solution or the best solution. There isn't a correct solution in writing. So it's all very daunting because I'm having to make shit up. I make it all up. So, something that might help. Let's do this. Let's label some of the problems I'm having. I'm not just having anxiety. Why am I having anxiety? I'm having a lot of anxiety. One, I'm dealing with perfectionism right now. I want to do it right the first time. But in creating, in writing, there is no right. I wish there was. Why didn't I like math? I was really good at it, but I hated it. Okay, moving on. So I'm dealing with a lot of perfectionism. And what I always tell my clients if they're struggling with perfectionism is to write bad on purpose to get themselves going. So that's something I'm gonna try today. I'm gonna swallow my own sour medicine. And I'm going to try to write a bad version of the outline. Just see how far I get. Because it's usually easier, especially with writing, to work with something that you've already made and to make it better and to change it because you have like your raw material. I remember, I think it was after the third draft of my YA fantasy novel. When I finally read it back, I was like, oh, here it is. I finally have my block of marble that I can carve into a sculpture that I love. Whereas the first few drafts, I was just like, what is this? What are words? What is English? What's a story? What's a character? It was just me vomiting my ideas. I mean, I was trying to be smart about it. I have experience writing. I'm not an idiot. But everyone's first drafts are terrible. Second drafts are often also terrible. It's when you have actually gotten enough ideas down onto the page that you can look at them and analyze them and think about them more critically. Like they're outside of your head, they're separate from you. So it makes it easier to not beat yourself up. Once you have your ideas on the page, you can change them, right? It's often easier to get ideas to change something than it is to pull ideas out of thin air. So I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to get to work. I may or may not come back at the end of that and tell you how it went. We'll see. Wish me luck. All right, I'm back. My timer just went off after working for an hour on the outline for Rose City Swing, and hey, I took my own advice, like I said, and I started by just trying to do the outline badly. And that meant taking the kind of disparate ideas that I had, which didn't really have an order to them yet or a logic to them, and I just arbitrarily put them in an order from 1 to 4, beginning to end, for the story. And just by doing that, I was able to see why that order didn't work. And from there, I was able to shuffle them around, and I was able to make some really good progress on the outline for Rose City Swing. In particular, my Act 1 is much more fleshed out at this point, and I'm getting even more ideas for specific scenes to include once I get to the writing process. Moments that I think would be really funny and really utilize the incredible staff that we're going to have at Rose City Swing to perform this story. There's one moment in particular that I think is going to be really, really great. So yeah, and I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell. I feel more calm. I feel more confident. I don't feel frazzled or anxious. Like, counterintuitively, I feel like I have more energy now after doing the work than I did beforehand, which to you might seem different because I know I had like a lot of energy talking about getting ready to write. Like, it was frenetic, it was chaotic. But now I feel fulfilled and excited to work on it again. And see, this is the great trick or the great catch with being a creative. It's that usually when a new day comes around and we sit down to do the work, there's that frenetic anxiety and resistance and the drive to procrastinate and just wanting to avoid doing the work and do anything else. But as soon as you've made yourself actually sit down for a time and do the work, afterwards, you feel so much better. I know I do better when I write. I do better when I create. I do better when I dance. I need to make sure to move through and past my resistance every day and actually put time into the things that matter to me in order for me to feel better, for my mental health to be better. And that's kind of what I want this series to be, this Get Ready to Create with Me. I want it to be a concrete example of before and after, what resistance looks like, how normal it is, how to get through it, and what it feels like when you come out the other side after doing your creative work. Because it feels amazing. And it's like now my anxiety is dissipated and I'm really looking forward to seeing what I produce over the next few months, what the final script will actually look like. I'm looking forward to seeing it come to life. And I don't know, this is the part where I get kind of teary because not many writers get to see their words come to life in front of them. And it's an incredible honor that I have stumbled into this as part of my career. And my anxiety from before has been replaced with excitement and gratitude and lots of feels. Lots of feels. So I'm really glad I pushed through my resistance today to do the work. And I hope this video has or can help you do the same. Because we are here to do creative work. Like really, everybody has a voice, and how you choose to express yourself is totally up to you. But it's really important that we all find our mode of expression and do that creative work, because it's incredibly fulfilling and it can really change people's lives. Even if it's as simple as like entertaining someone and brightening their day, like that is important work. So thank you for joining in. I'll try to be back next week with another video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And if you're curious about my coaching, I'll leave links below. In particular, I have a free ebook that's called Writing Coach in Your Pocket, which is a really fun kind of self-coaching process of like the top 10 questions that I have for a client who's dealing with writer's block, and what to do based on your answers to help you move through that writer's block. So anyways, it was nice chatting with you all. I'll talk to you later. Bye! How do you write funny? And I'm like, I'm not sure. Alright, let's fucking do this. And I have to do it again. Ha, yay. Nah. Jeez. Oh my god, I can't fucking do this. What am I talking about? Maybe a script would be helpful. Hey, there's an idea. Write a script to talk about scripts. I don't wanna. Oh, I can't talk. And to show that you are normal, because if I'm not normal, this is bad news, people. This is great. So it's all very daunting because I'm having to make shit up. I make it all up. Just pull it out of my ass. Another uncomfortable thing to do. Did I really just say that?